Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight I am going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference building up to the Club Brugge Manchester United game tomorrow in the Europa League knockout stages first leg at the Jan Bredel Stadium. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said quite a lot of interesting stuff during his press conference building up to the game. He's given us some news regarding Odion Ighalo. He's also given us some latest news regarding Marcus Rashford, also give us the latest news regarding Paul Pogba, and also Andres Pereira had quite a few interesting stuff to say during the press conference, because he was in the press conference, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. So I will start, with Marcus Rashford. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said that Marcus Rashford is touch and go to play again before, the end of the season. Now, reportedly, Solskjaer has confirmed that Rashford will be out for at least the next couple of months. And, he actually, could miss Euro 2020. So, obviously, if he isn't fit enough before the European Championships this year, then Rashford, will not participate. Now, of course, we expected Rashford to be back in March sometime, but now that is not the case, because I think recently Rashford's had a scan, and now his injury, is more severe than what, we initially thought. So, that's the latest news regarding him. And Rashford has been a big miss for Manchester United. Like I said, Rashford has been one of our best players this season. But like I mentioned, Odion Ighalo is a good cover-up to him. So that's the latest news regarding Marcus Rashford. But, he may not even play, for the rest of this season now. Rashford, he could be out until the end of the season, which is, very, very disappointing. So not much positivity has come out regarding Marcus Rashford. We've got some news regarding Odion Ighalo. Solskjaer got asked this right at the beginning of the press conference, that, if Odion Ighalo will be involved. Obviously, he has made the journey. And he says, Odion Ighalo, could start for Manchester United. So this is what, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said regarding Odion Ighalo, that he could start in the game. He also praised Odion Ighalo during, the press conference. He said he's a fantastic human being. He's a different type of striker and that, and he is a good cover-up for Marcus Rashford. And he did say he was unlucky not to score against Chelsea the other night, because he did come on towards the end and he had, a massive opportunity. Yeah, so more than likely, Odion Ighalo will start the game. And he did say, Solskjaer, with the games that Manchester United have got coming up, we will have to rotate. So this is what he also said, when he got asked about Odion Ighalo. The news regarding Paul Pogba, he is no close to returning to training. Solskjaer has confirmed this. Of course, Paul Pogba has been out for a while with injury. I think he's had he's had a couple of scans now, has he, on his ankle? I think it's over a month ago now since he had the last surgery on his ankle, Paul Pogba. He did say the other day, that Paul Pogba is close, to returning for Manchester United, because it did say he was stepping up his fitness regime, Pogba. Solskjaer recently come out and revealed and said Paul Pogba may not even play for the football club again before he does leave in the summer, because he's likely to leave in the summer anyway. But, if he is to be back, Paul Pogba, the earliest we are looking at him back is for the Manchester City game in a couple of weeks. So, Paul Pogba is not part of the squad. So that's the latest news regarding him. And so let's delve into, what Andres Pereira was asked during the press conference. So he was asked, about Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo. Of course, Manchester United signed both of them in the January transfer window. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes has now played 2 games for Manchester United. I thought he was very, very good in his debut against Wolves. And he was also very, very good, in the game against Chelsea the other night. Was unlucky not to score, Bruno Fernandes, because he did hit the post. But he did get, the assist for Harry Maguire's second goal from the corner. So this is what Andres Pereira had to say. He says Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo have settled in really, really well at Manchester United. Obviously, we had like a 16-day, break, didn't we? We had a 16-day winter break and that. And, Andres Pereira said, we had a lot of good training sessions, down in Spain, Marbella. this is where, what he had basically said. And, he says Bruno Fernandes is adapting to a new team and, he will get better and better. And he says hopefully, Odi Nagalo can do the same thing. So he does believe, there'll be great additions, to the squad, does Andres Pereira. So this, what Andres Pereira, does currently believe. Also, Flex from the United stand, he asked one question to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer during the press conference. He asked him about, the 3-5-2 formation that Manchester United have been going with in the last couple of games. Because obviously, we've gone with that formation in the last couple of games. Manchester United seem to have done really, really well. Flex basically asked him, will he continue, using that formation? People have got different perceptions on the formation. I think from my perception, the 3-5-2 formation suits our standards because we seem to do really, really well with 3 at the back. I think we look more expansive with 3 at the back. Solskjaer did react to it and, he said it's very, very rare, Manchester United, play, with 3 at the back. But like he admitted, it has worked for us in quite a few games this season. But on a regular basis this season, Solskjaer has been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation. But like I said, it hasn't really, seemed to have suited our standards, to be quite honest with you. Hasn't really seemed to have suited our standards. Solskjaer, of course, also confirmed that Manchester United have got a busy period coming up. We have got like 7 games in 21 days. So it is a busy period coming up for Manchester United. And he also, I think, did confirm that 19 have travelled, to Belgium. 19 have travelled. A couple of youngsters haven't gone, obviously, with injuries and stuff like that. I obviously, did confirm on one of my other videos, didn't I? That obviously, McTominay is now, back in training. He's been training this morning, so he could be involved in the game against Club Brugge tomorrow. McTominay has been out with a knee injury. He has been out with any injuries, McTominay, and he has been a big miss in that midfield. But he is stepping up his fitness regime now, so he is now back in training as McTominay. Also, Mason Greenwood is absent from the squad. I didn't really catch, if he said all about Mason Greenwood, but he is absent from the. He was absent from training. Was Mason Greenwood. Connor Stanley, he's a teenager. Reportedly, he's been training with the first team. Also, we have got Lindelof now back. He missed the game against Chelsea due to illness. I think also Tuanzebe has been training this morning with Man United. Chong, Gomez and Garner, they weren't training with the first team this morning because, they've already been in Belgium, I think, playing for the under-19s and that. But, I think around 19 players have gone. But in this game, Solskjaer, will make quite a lot of changes from the 2-0 win against Chelsea. He also, praised Wan-Bissaka during the press conference, did Solskjaer, of how much, he's settled into the team and that, he knows how much of a good player Wan-Bissaka is. Not so good in terms of an attacking intent, but, defensively, very, very good. He obviously put a very, very good performance out against Chelsea the other night. Maybe Wan-Bissaka could be rested in this game against Club Brugge. I think we'll probably play Diego Dalot instead, because Diego Dalot, has not played much this season for Manchester United, due to a couple of injuries he's had. He's had a couple of minutes under his belt in the second half of the season as Diego Dalot, but I do probably believe, he will be playing in this game against Club Brugge. I also believe Brandon Williams, will keep his place in the team, definitely. But so these are some of the stuff that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had mentioned, during his press conference. I can't remember every single little thing, that was said. Obviously, he did get asked about Erling Haaland, scoring for Borussia Dortmund and stuff. Because obviously, I was reading reports today, like I mentioned, and he did say that Erling Haaland had told Solskjaer that he wanted to join Manchester United before he changed his mind to obviously join Borussia Dortmund. I wanted us to get Erling Haaland. I was very infuriated that we didn't get Erling Haaland on the board. We could have got Erling Haaland on the board. He only would have cost us around £18 million. This is what Borussia Dortmund got him for. Plus, Erling Haaland has played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance during his short spell with Mould, obviously, as well, didn't he? And obviously, he was a revelation for Red Bull Salzburg, so I'm ashamed, that we missed out on, Erling Haaland. Obviously, You know, Robin van Persie, you know, he's also come out and said, you know, Solskjaer must win the Europa League with Manchester United, you know, to avoid the axe, basically. He was also asked as well, just remembered during the press conference, obviously, you know, about Manchester City getting banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. Obviously, we do now know that 5th spot is a Champions League spot, reflecting on Manchester City's ban. But, you know, I think Manchester United can win the Europa League. You know, we did it a couple of years ago under the Jose Mourinho era. You know, we're beating Ajax in the final by 2-0. So we are definitely, you know, capable of doing it again. We're capable of doing it again, definitely. And, you know, the Europa League is a priority for Man United. It's a chance of us getting some silverware on the board under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we haven't won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer at the moment. Plus, you know, it's another route to Champions League football. Don't forget, you know, the FA Cup, you know, Man United can, you know, still win that. That's also an ambition for Man United and that. But we are now definitely in that top 4 race. We are only 3 points now behind top 4 in the Premier League, and we are currently, you know, sitting 7th. But in this game against Club Brugge, I think Solskjaer, from my own perception, needs to stick with 3 at the back. You know, he can't revert back to the 4-2-3-1 formation. Maybe he will, but I think, you know, he will stick with 3 at the back. But like I said, you know, he will make a lot of changes. I think, obviously, Romero will start in goal. You know, Romero tends to play in the cup games. He is our second choice goalkeeper. The lot will start. I think Williams will keep his place in the team. Lindelof will play more than likely. Lindelof will play more than likely because he's now okay. He's just come back from illness. I think maybe he should play Bailly again, you know, because Bailly did very, very well on his return to the Premier League in the game against Chelsea. That was his first appearance in the Premier League since April of last year. He did very, very well, did Eric Bailly, but my only element of concern about Bailly is too injury prone. Also, too, you know, Maguire, you know, do you think he'll play, or could he be rested for the game against Watford on Sunday? He'll rest a few key players, obviously, you know, for the Watford game. You know, I think Pereira will probably play some parts of the game more than likely. He has been a liability this season as Andres Pereira and that. I think we've only been playing him a lot due to, you know, McTominay's injury, but, you know, sometimes he can play well for Man United and that. You know, maybe, you know, Angel Gomez, he's another one. You know, vast majority of his performances anywhere have come in the Europa League this season. Angel Gomez hasn't really played much for Manchester United, so his appearances have been limited. Like I said, Greenwood is absent from training. I don't know why, like I mentioned. You know, probably Odi Nagala will start. If he doesn't start, he probably, you know, will play some parts of the game. Martial, you know, will he start? Probably will start, to be fair. I think we need to put Martial on the left-hand side because, you know, he isn't a number 9 Martial. He predominantly plays on the left-hand side. Martial has only been playing in the number 9 this season, but in the 4 previous seasons being with us, he has been operating on that left-hand side as Martial, you know. But his performances haven't been good recently, but it was still good to see him get his name on the score sheet against Chelsea, definitely. But I'm very, very convinced, you know, Manchester United can progress into the last 16 of the Europa League. I think we'll come to beat Club Brugge over the 2 legs. You know, like I said, it's tomorrow at the Jan Bredel. Is the second leg at Old Trafford on the 27th of February, if I'm right. You know, we progressed comfortably into the knockout stages of the Europa League. We won Group L. You know, obviously, you know, we're beating Alkmaar once. You know, we drew with Alkmaar. We're beating Astana once, lost to Astana, and we're beating Partizan Belgrade twice. So we did finish top of Group L. With Club Brugge, you know, they're sitting top of the Belgian league, looking realistically like they're going to win it this season. You know, they finished runners-up last season just behind Genk. Of course, Club Brugge's record against Premier League opposition is very, very bad, like I mentioned in the preview, because, you know, they are winless in their last 10 games against Premier League opposition at Club Brugge. And, you know, Manchester United did play them back in the 2015-16 season. We played them in the Champions League playoffs and beat them 7-1 on aggregate. You know, we beat them 3-1 in the first leg at Old Trafford and we beat them 4-0 in the second leg at Brugge. And I think in one of the games, you know, Wayne Rooney, of course, had scored a hat-trick. So I am very, very convinced that Manchester United will win this game. I am very, very convinced that Manchester United, you know, will win this game. And I've already given you my starting 11 prediction, you know, because I give you my starting 11 prediction on one of my other videos that I did, you know, currently doing that. But yeah, Manchester United will win this, I think, comfortably. But I think we're emerged as the second favourites, to win the Europa League. I think Inter Milan, are regarded as the favourites. So yeah, so that's my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference and everything else. Now, I will be currently, delving into more topics and that. So I have been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Paul Pogba, quite a lot recently in that, because obviously, the ongoing situation with Paul Pogba, that it's likely he's going to be leaving in the summer. Also, his agent Mini Raiola has been talking, don't forget he's been coming out saying that, Paul Pogba is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property. He also was saying something about he's not a prisoner at Man United, and, Solskjaer basically confirmed he didn't, he hasn't spoke to Mini Raiola. He confirmed this after the Chelsea game. He just said that Paul Pogba's our player, not Mini Raiola's. Mini Raiola came out and said Paul Pogba is likely to leave the football club in the summer, if Manchester United don't qualify for the Champions League. And he did reiterate and say Juventus is his preferred destination. And he basically said, Italy is like a second home. Now, Mini Raiola has also come out and said a few other stuff. We've been infuriated with the comments he said regarding Solskjaer and Man United and that, because I think he is disrespecting the club, and so too is Paul Pogba in some aspects. But he's come out and said, Paul Pogba is open to have negotiations over a new contract. This is what, his agent Mini Raiola had said. He's open to have negotiations over a new contract, and also, he said, he wanted to have negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he said, actually, Mini Raiola never had any disputes with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but they've obviously, had disputes over the future of Paul Pogba. I think he'll play again before he leaves in the summer. Reports were coming out the other day saying that Juventus were willing to offer him 125 million. Plus, they was willing to offer Rabiot and Ramsey as part of the deal, but I don't see that materialising. But that was coming out of a few media outlets. Reports have been coming out today saying that we could lose Paul Pogba for just £50 million in the summer. That's 39 million less than what we paid for him, because we paid 89 million for him from Juventus. And plus, it's around 3 times less than what, we want for him in the summer, because we've quoted out that we want around 150 million for Paul Pogba this summer. And Paul Pogba, of course, is now, I think, into the final year of his contract, but Man United do have an option to extend it by a further year. Real Madrid only value him at £50 million. Pogba's not worth 50 million. I think he's worth at least £120 million. Like I said, hasn't been playing this season due to injury. So this is why Paul Pogba hasn't been playing. He hasn't played since Boxing Day like McTominay. He hasn't started a game since September, so he will be going in the summer. But we can afford to let Paul Pogba go if, we can get, Maddison and Grealish in as his replacement. That would be very, very good, because I would be excited about the prospects of Maddison and Grealish playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Pogba, of course, was subjected to transfer speculation last summer. Also subjected to transfer speculation under Mourinho, because he enjoyed a bad relationship with Mourinho. Barcelona have been in for him in the past, but I think the mistake we made was letting Paul Pogba go when he was younger. But yeah, he's on his way out of the football club. Definitely is Paul Pogba. He's on his way out of the football club and that. So that's the latest news regarding him. I've already given you the latest news regarding Erling Haaland. Of course, Man United are making plans for the summer. Man United are making plans for the summer transfer window, because we do know that furthermore investment is needed in the squad. I was reading reports not too long ago, and it said reportedly Solskjaer is going to get around £274 million to spend this summer. And I did say, we'll spend a substantial amount this summer, but there is still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager, in the summer, it will be his 4th transfer window as Man United manager, because at the moment he's enjoyed 3 transfer windows and he's spent £220 million, and he's recommended 5 new players in at the moment as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it'll be interesting to see who we can get in the summer. Manchester United do need to qualify for the Champions League, and then in that aspect we'll have more of a chance of attracting players to the elite level. Because, of course, when you're not in Champions League football, it's going to be hard to get, the players to the elite level. But Solskjaer still insists, he thinks Man United can still get the players that they want, even if we don't get any European football. And maybe we will be determined to give Solskjaer another season at the club, because this is a transition period, and Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But I think we've given our verdict on all of this situation with Solskjaer. He said he will be only sacked on one condition, and that is if Manchester United fail to, finish within the top 6 or fail to secure any European football. But maybe if we are to get European football, then maybe Solskjaer will be given another season at the football club. But there is a lot of players on our agenda for the summer. Solskjaer, don't forget, still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Man United like he did do last summer. Of course, Ed Woodward came out, don't forget, the other week. He wrote a fans forum and he said he's going to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with more transfers this summer. But let's see, who he can recommend in to the football club. Solskjaer's been here now, as you all know, over a year. I'm surprised he's lasted as long as he has, to be quite honest with you, because I think if it had been any other manager, then I think, they would have been gone by now. But I think reflecting on him being a club legend, the board are soft in their stance on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But like I said, overall anyway, he was lucky to get the job in the first place with Solskjaer. He was lucky to get the job in the first place as the interim manager. And he did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. And reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager, that's what got him the job on a permanent basis. That's how he got the job permanently in that. And I think Man United did make a mistake by giving him the job on a permanent basis. He has been permanent Manchester United manager now for around 11 months. But like I've said, it was a very, very good result against Chelsea, because prior to the game against Chelsea, we were winless in our last 3 Premier League games. On the other hand, we've kept 4 clean sheets in our last 4 games, which is, you can look at as a positive. But it was a very, very good win against Chelsea because it's keeping our top 4 ambitions alive. We're beating them 2-0. Our first win at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League since 2012, so that's 8 years ago now. The first double we've done over Chelsea in the Premier League era. And like I said, it was goals from Martial and obviously Harry Maguire. That was enough to get us the win. Wasn't the best of performances, but Manchester United still got the win. And that game against Chelsea just shows that we can do very, very well against elite opposition. And we've had a lot of good results this season against elite opposition, but we haven't really replicated that against lower opposition. So that's also my element of concern. This is why I'm not taking the Watford game, which is our next league game, for granted. Don't take it for granted because we haven't done so well against lower opposition this season. And, Solskjaer's record has been disastrous at Man United, since he got the job permanently. Was totally comparison when he was the interim manager. But on the other hand, he's got one good record as Manchester United manager, and that's against Chelsea, because Solskjaer has beaten Chelsea 4 times as a manager, and he's, schooled Frank Lampard 3 times, because we've beaten Chelsea 3 times this season. We beaten them last season 2-0 in the FA Cup and that. So yeah, and if we'd have lost that game against Chelsea, we would have been 9 points behind top 4. Then I would have fully disregarded it then. Definitely in that. But, if Solskjaer is to be sacked by Man United, probably, Massimiliano Allegri could come in, maybe possibly still Pochettino could come in. It's unlikely though, because obviously, Pep Guardiola's likely to leave City in the summer, and, City are interested in recommending Mauricio Pochettino in. Like I said, there's not only problems with the management at the club, there's obviously, problems the way the club's been run for several years. A lot of our fans have got doubts about, the club's ownership. They've got doubts, about Ed Woodward, the executive chairman. We're also very sceptical about the board. There's still problems on the pitch because he's still players at Manchester United that do need to be moved on. And, Solskjaer's confirmed there will be more departures this summer. Around 9 senior players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. We've seen Ashley Young leave this year for 1.5 million. He went to Inter Milan after he enjoyed 8.5 years at the club. We saw him leave. We saw Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes. Solskjaer said they wouldn't have left in January, but, they did. We let Rojo go because we've got a lot of centre-backs now in the team, and obviously Bay and Fosu-Mensah are now back, so he wouldn't have got in the team anywhere. Last summer Darmian went to Parma, Herrera went to PSG. He's one of the players Man United should have kept. Fellaini went to China back in January 2019, and Lukaku and Sanchez both left. Again, I think we made a mistake getting rid of Lukaku. I'm happy with him financially. From a financial point of view, I'm happy because we generated a substantial amount for his departure, but we made a mistake getting rid of Romelu Lukaku because he's firing all cylinders at Inter Milan now. Sanchez, I'm glad we got rid of him, and I'm glad he's not coming back to Manchester United in the summer. I know Solskjaer revealed last month that, you know, Sanchez was likely to come back to Manchester United this summer to prove everybody wrong, but now that is not the case. Dean Henson is out on loan with Sheffield United. You know, if he comes back, I think he'll become our #1 goalkeeper. He's been a revelation for Sheffield United. Valencia, he left at the end of last season after he endured 10 years at Manchester United. So we've had a few long-serving players at the club, and, you know, we have still got, you know, long-serving players now at the club now. We have, you know, but more players will leave in the summer. So we've generated some money for some of the players that left last summer. We'll generate more money for players that leave this summer, you know, and it will free up our wage bill a little bit because we have got the highest wage bill in the Premier League. You know, we've also spent a hell of a lot of money in the last 6 or 7 years. We've spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in the last 6 or 7 years. You know, what was spent under Moyes, 67 million, about 250 odd under Louis van Gaal, about 400 million under Jose Mourinho. So a lot of money has been spent on Man United, and over 200 million under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So a lot of money has been invested into the football club. And I think we should have got a director of football in last summer. I said that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club, is getting a director of football. You know, someone who could have come into, obviously, our transfer business. And then if we'd have got a director of football, then Ed Woodward could have moved away from the footballing decisions, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, we currently didn't, you know, which was very, very disappointing. But with a win against Chelsea, it was a good result, but it doesn't change my perception regarding Solskjaer. He isn't the long-term solution for the club. Solskjaer has still got 2.5 years left on his current deal, and I'm very sceptical he'll see that 2.5 years deal he's got left. I don't see that happening, to be quite honest with you, unless, you know, things can dramatically improve at Manchester United. Robin van Persie, you know, he said we should stick with Solskjaer, give him time to stabilise the club and everything, you know, because making changes, you know, a lot, you know, isn't the right solution. And, you know, we have made changes in the last 6-7 years because obviously Man United have sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era, so take that into account and that. But hopefully we can get the right players in the summer. You know, it's going to take us several years to get us back to where we want to be. It's going to take a long rebuilding process. And, you know, yeah. So nothing much really more to say in this video. So anyway, guys, you know, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.